Cynthia Erivo being named Man of the Year by GQ caught a lot of people's eyes in a very bad way. Announcement just days before this movie is set to release. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande skipping interviews at Wicked for Good New York premiere. So skipping interviews, what the fuck's going on? And that started a lot of discussion points about this entire thing and about whether she really lost her voice. Were they really skipping in solidarity? Or is this a ploy to not let them be out in front of anybody to embarrass themselves even further?
No one expected a show as massive as Wicked for Good to fall this far. Universal Pictures spent years promoting it as their next big franchise, a cultural moment that would carry fantasy fans through multiple seasons. But instead of rising, the series plunged into a decline so sharp that even longtime supporters were stunned. The numbers didn't slip. They crashed. Season 2 revealed the first warning signs, yet nothing prepared anyone for what came next. Viewership didn't just drop, it hit 0 on multiple episodes. A complete shutdown of audience interest, the kind of collapse that becomes a legend inside Hollywood boardrooms. Executives panicked as charts flatlined across every platform. But the silence wasn't universal, because at the center of the meltdown stood Cynthia Erivo, the star who carried the show with everything she had. And when she learned her work was being blamed for the record-breaking collapse, she didn't stay quiet. She went off. Hard. Her reaction sent shockwaves through social media and across the industry. This wasn't just another streaming failure. This was the moment Universal's biggest gamble imploded in real time. And Cynthia's response exposed the truth behind the collapse, the tension behind the scenes, and the reasons that led to the instant cancellation of Season 3. Wicked for Good was introduced as Universal's next prestige fantasy hit. The studio marketed it as a cultural event built to dominate streaming and awards season. Fans expected bold storytelling mixed with powerful performances. Cynthia Erivo's casting as Elphaba became the centerpiece of the excitement. Her voice, emotional range, and stage presence created massive buzz. Many believed she could reinvent the character for a new era. Universal leaned heavily on her talent in trailers and interviews. Everything seemed aligned for a franchise built to last several seasons. The first months brought strong viewership. The show trended across social platforms, collecting millions of impressions. Critics praised the visuals and the early emotional beats. For a moment, it looked like Universal had created something unforgettable, but pressure began building behind the scenes. High expectations put every creative decision under a microscope. The bigger the hype grew, the more fragile the project felt. And soon the cracks started to show. Season 1 ended with a wave of mixed reactions. Fans began questioning sudden tonal shifts that didn't match the original musical's heart. Storylines felt altered to push modern themes instead of character growth. Those concerns spread fast across social media. Writers reportedly clashed over direction. Some wanted a faithful retelling with deeper emotional arcs. Others pushed for heavier messaging and contemporary commentary. The tension shaped every rewrite and every scene. The show lost the smooth identity it promised at launch. Viewers noticed the slow drift. Moments that once carried charm felt overwritten and forced. Iconic scenes were reshaped to highlight ideas instead of storytelling. Fans who expected magic began to feel disengaged. Engagement numbers slipped with each episode. By the time Season 2 entered production, the concern was obvious. Loyal viewers stayed hopeful, but the general audience moved on. A show once filled with potential was now struggling to hold attention, and deeper trouble was about to arrive. Then, the unthinkable happened. Internal analytics leaked showing several late-season episodes had hit literal 0 viewership. Not low numbers, 0. A complete disappearance of audience interest. The revelation spread online with lightning speed. Commentary channels jumped on the story instantly. Headlines like "Wicked drops to 0" and "The fastest collapse in streaming history" exploded across YouTube. TikTok edits mocked the numbers with harsh humor. The show became a meme overnight. Advertisers panicked, contracts were quietly pulled, cross-promotions were canceled, streaming executives were forced into emergency meetings. A show meant to anchor a franchise now represented a massive financial disaster. The numbers hit the cast hard. For Cynthia Erivo, it felt devastating. Years of performance and preparation had evaporated. She wasn't just facing a flop. She was facing a record-breaking collapse no one in Hollywood expected. When Cynthia discovered the studio was privately blaming her for the show's collapse, everything changed. Insiders revealed she felt blindsided and betrayed. She believed she carried the series with honesty and heart, while the creative issues were out of her control. During internal calls, she reportedly broke her silence. She called the studio's behavior unprofessional and unfair. She rejected the idea that her portrayal caused the drop and accused executives of using her as a scapegoat. Her frustration had been building for months. The cancellation rumors only amplified her anger. She saw executives distancing themselves from the project while leaving her in the spotlight. Their silence turned into a weight she couldn't ignore. Her trust in the studio cracked. Her emotions spilled onto social media. While she didn't name anyone directly, her posts revealed disappointment and exhaustion. Fans felt the tension instantly. The conversation shifted from ratings to accountability. Behind closed doors, Universal had already reached a decision. The studio could not justify moving forward with Season 3 after the viewership drop. The cost was too high and the audience too small. Executives pressed forward with an abrupt cancellation. The internal memo shocked the cast. Production shut down overnight. Writers, set designers, and crew workers lost months of planned work in minutes. The sudden announcement created chaos across departments that expected renewal. The public explanation was vague. Universal blamed market conditions and shifting audience interest. Insiders leaked the truth anyway. The studio viewed the show as unsalvageable and feared wasting more resources on a sinking project. Fans reacted with mixed emotions. Some believed cancellation was overdue. Others felt betrayed after investing time into the story. The decision sent a clear message. Universal no longer believed the series had a future. Cynthia's frustration reached the public faster than the studio expected. She released statements expressing disbelief that Universal abandoned the project so quickly. Her words were sharp, emotional, and filled with disappointment. She insisted the creative flaws were structural and not the actors' fault. She highlighted the missing leadership and the chaotic direction shifts. Fans who admired her saw honesty in her tone. Critics accused her of shifting blame. Her comments fueled a wildfire across social media. Clips spread across TikTok and Instagram within hours. Commentary channels praised her courage or mocked her reaction depending on their angle. Cynthia became the centerpiece of a larger cultural debate. Her voice forced the conversation into new territory. The show was no longer simply canceled. It became a fight over responsibility and trust, and the entire industry was watching. The online reaction grew rapidly. Hashtags calling the show the biggest streaming collapse ever trended for days. TikTok edits reenacted scenes with jokes about zero viewers. YouTube creators posted deep dive breakdowns titled How Wicked Destroyed Itself. Some fans defended Cynthia, but the negativity drowned out support. Memes portrayed her as the reason for the decline. Social media negativity unfolded faster than the studio could contain. The show's reputation became impossible to recover. Reddit threads analyzed every detail. Some users blamed Universal rewriting. Others blamed Season 2's tonal drift. Many blamed the studio for chasing trends instead of story. The threads revealed a truth studios fear. Once an audience disconnects emotionally, it rarely comes back. The backlash pushed Cynthia even further into the spotlight. She became the unwilling face of a disaster she never directed. The weight of that pressure only grew with each viral post. Universal began quietly removing Season 3 promos, cast interviews, and marketing assets. Posters vanished from streaming apps. Social media ads were taken down without notice. The studio wanted the show off the radar as fast as possible. Fans noticed instantly. Screenshots circulated showing missing thumbnails and deleted clips. People accused Universal of erasing history to avoid embarrassment. The mystery surrounding the sudden cleanup created even more speculation. Executives refused to address the cleanup. Publicists stayed silent. The studio trusted the controversy would fade with time. But the silence only amplified Cynthia's earlier claims of abandonment. Industry insiders called the cleanup one of the fastest erasure operations in recent streaming history. It sent a message louder than any press release. Universal wanted the show forgotten. After weeks of chaos, Cynthia released her final statement. She said she gave everything she had to Wicked for good. She hoped fans understood she fought for the story and the cast. Her words were emotional, measured, and filled with closure. She denied responsibility for the collapse and urged fans not to blame the actors. She thanked supporters who stayed with her through the storm. She also criticized Universal for failing to lead the project with clarity and courage. Her statement was shared thousands of times. Supporters praised her grace during a difficult moment. Critics argued she was protecting her image. But one thing was clear. Her voice shaped the final chapter of the show's legacy. The message closed the book on her involvement. She stepped forward with dignity even when the project crumbled around her. Wicked, for Good was designed to become Universal's next major franchise. Instead, it became a symbol of unstable leadership and creative confusion. A show that started with unmatched hype collapsed into silence and deletion. Cynthia Erivo's journey through the disaster revealed the emotional toll placed on actors when studios lose direction. She fought to protect the spirit of the story, while internal decisions broke it apart. Her reactions were human responses to a system that failed her. Universal's cancellation of Season 3 leaves an empty space where a massive franchise once stood. Fans mourn the lost potential, while critics point to deeper industry problems. The debate over the show's collapse continues across social platforms. In the end, the show didn't fall because of one person. It fell because the connection between story and audience broke beyond repair. A collapse so complete that the final episodes reached 0 viewers. A collapse that will be remembered for years.